So in our last lecture, we're discussing how force has various forms. I mean, the force equation has various forms, and one form which is of particular interest to us is the time derivative of momentum. This particular form of equation carries more information than the equation above. Okay, so this statement is will be quite useful for aspiring theoretical physicist. So let me tell you something here. So when you do theoretical physics, you see you might have one equation and the scientist will say, hey, look at this form of equation. We cannot derive much information from this part. So let us write this equation in another form. So if you go to string theory, so those people who would like to do some string theory in future, so let me tell you, there are two equation. One is called as Nambu-Goody equation and another is called as the Polyakov equation. Okay, so both the equation carries the same information, but the Polyakov equation gives you more information than the Nambu-Goody equation. So you can think of this like this is somewhat like a Polyakov equation, which is much simpler, and this is like a Nambu-Goody equation. Okay, so both may look different, but the information carried by the second equation is more crucial. Okay, so now what I'll do is, let me give you a quick review of what we have done. So part 1 is, we learn from this equation. Remember, we are using the momentum equation. Okay, so we learn from this equation that when force is 0, then there is some quantity called as momentum, which is constant. Okay, we had a long discussion on this part in our last lecture, so I won't say anything else. Now there is another crazy you can say result of the same thing. So for example, if you look at Newton's third law, then Newton's third law says, consider there are two persons A and B in space. Okay, why in space? Because I don't want to consider gravity. The Newton third law says that the force, if the A puts some force on B in space, then automatically B will exert a force on A. That's automatic. Okay, so if A pushes B, then automatically the push will create a force acting on A. The B even do not have to push A to create the reaction force. So this is the Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Let me give you one more example. So consider this is a wall and you have a ball, okay, moving towards the wall. So what happens? You know, the ball hits the wall and then the ball comes back. Agreed? This is what you see in your day-to-day life. But what does this mean? What this means is that when the ball hits the ball gives the wall a particular force. Okay, the very hitting will result a force, because there is a change in momentum. As I said, whenever there is a change in momentum, there is a force. So let me tell you how. So consider the ball had so consider the ball had some momentum 10. Okay, so so what is momentum? Momentum is mass into velocity. Agreed? So what will be the unit of momentum? Say it will be kg, so that is unit of mass, meter per second. Okay, now consider there is an elastic collision. I mean, there is no loss of energy or anything, and when the ball returns back, so when the ball was carrying this momentum when it was going towards the right, and when the ball hits and comes back towards the left, again say the momentum was 10 kg meter per second. Okay, now can you tell me what is the change in momentum? The change in momentum will be difference in momentum. Okay, so I can write p1 vector minus p2 vector. Agreed? Now what is p1? P1 is towards the right, it is 10, minus what is p2? P2 is towards the left, so it is opposite to p1, so I can write a minus 10. Okay, so what is the total change in momentum? The total change in momentum is 20 kg meter per second. Okay, this is how things happen. So this is the change in momentum. So as I said, whenever there is a change in momentum, then there is a force, because rate of change of momentum with time is force. It means that the ball which was initially moving towards the right hits the wall and moves towards the left. It means when it hits the wall, the ball gives the wall a particular force, say F, and this force F is a result of this change in momentum, and the wall gives the ball a force, the same force F, and this force that the wall acts, the force from the wall that acts on the ball is responsible for the ball moving towards the left side. Agreed? So what I wanted to say is, a ball comes, hits the wall and goes towards the left. It means somehow during the hit, the wall must have given a force F, because of which the ball changed the direction and now it is moving towards the left. Agreed? So this is Newton's third law. It says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this was the force that the ball gave on the wall, and second is the force that the wall gives on the ball, and both the forces are same. So that's the Newton's third law. The force that the ball puts on the wall is equal to the force that the wall puts on the ball. Now there is one small thing, there will be a small minus sign because both the forces are in different direction. Remember, the minus sign in physics represents direction, so always remember that. So if I apply Newton's third law in this case, so there are two person in space, person 1 and person 2. So the person 1 pushes the person 2 with a force. Say that force is force that A gives to B. And then what is the outcome? The outcome is that automatically the body of the B will react in such a manner that it will automatically push A. It means F, there is a force due to B on A. Agreed? So, and since Newton's third law says the action and reaction is same, so there will be a minus sign. The minus sign represents that both the forces are in different opposite direction. Okay, it means that, so let me tell you again, the force that A puts on B results on another force that the B puts on A, such that both the forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Okay, remember that. Now with that equation, with Newton's third law has been used, now we can do something more. What more that we can do is, we can use the equation, this equation F is equals to d by dt of momentum, and we can do something with this equation. So let us see what happens. So this implies that force by A on B plus force on B by B on A is 0, because I've taken one to the other side. Agreed? Now what is FAB? So it will be a rate of change of momentum. So this will be d by dt of, so what will be the momentum? So there is a momentum that B will attain because of A. So this is PAB. Okay, and there is another momentum, so d by dt. So because of the force, so it will create a momentum, and this momentum will be created where? This momentum will be created on, see, this is the force that B puts on A. Okay, so on whom the momentum will be generated? The momentum will be generated on the body A. So let me write this as this. So these are the two momenta. This momenta this momentum will be generated in B, because A pushes B with a force, and this push will create a momentum in B. And this is the momenta that will be on A, because B puts a force on A, so the momentum will be generated on A. Okay, remember that. So now what I can do, since I can take d by dt common, okay, and this side we already have 0, and then I see that there are two momentum that gets added. So momentum of B due to A, and momentum of A due to B. Agreed? So both this momentum, they get added to 0. Then we see something amazing. Something amazing says that the momentum of the system, that is momentum of B, which B attains due to the force on it, and momentum on A, which A attains due to the force on it, is conserved. This is something quite amazing. The very statement that is constant, or you can say conserved. So let me say constant. It will be better if I say constant, because we have not. Okay. So it says that the net momentum of A and B is constant, whatever the case be. It means if there are two systems, so this is system A and this is system B, then it says that if A and B are pushing each other with some force, but if there is no force acting on A and B, I mean A and B are isolated in space, and the only freedom is that A can push B and B can push A. So this creates two objects A and B that can push each other, but there is no external force on AB. Then in such type of systems, the total momentum is always constant. The total momentum is always constant. What does it mean? It means that whatever the momentum was considered before, A pushing B and B pushing A, there was some momentum P of the system. Okay, after the A and B push each other, there is some change in momentum of the system. So when I say P, it means I am adding momentum of A and momentum of B. Okay, P is the total momentum. That was before A pushes B or B pushes A. After A pushes B, the system has a momentum P. Okay, say P dash. Here what happens, I have added the momentum of A and momentum of B after the push, but the equation says that the total momentum is same. The individual momentum may differ, but the total momentum will same. For example, the individual momentum, consider PA is the momentum of A and PB is the momentum of B before collision, or before A pushes B. Agreed? Now what happens? Now consider A pushes B. So when A pushes B, the momentum of A got changed and the new momentum is P dash, and momentum of B got changed and the new momentum is BP dash. So individual momentum might change, but total momentum, by total momentum means when I consider the momentum PA and PB together, and when I consider the momentum PA dash and PB dash together, this total momentum is always conserved. Don't you feel the conservation of momentum is such an amazing thing, such an interesting thing? Okay, so and it just comes out from the force equation. I mean, so if God has created only one physical thing or one equation, F is equals to ma, then whatever you see in this world is a consequences of this one equation that God created in our world. Agreed? So you can take another task. What would have happened if force would have created velocity? So this is some another world that the God created where force creates velocity. Then what are the consequences will happen? that you try to find it yourself. In this lecture, what I'm doing is I'm only telling you the consequences of what happens when force is equals to ma. The first consequence I said is that when there is no force, there is a particular thing called as the momentum, which is constant. The second, I said that if on a system no force is acting, then total momentum of the system is somehow constant. So these are the two amazing consequences of F is equals to ma. Agreed? So in the next lecture, we'll explore more on the momentum conservation that we just studied. Okay.